In 1992, a janitor named Ronald Read retired from his job at a gas station, lived in a small house, drove an old beat-up car, wore a coat held together with a safety pin because he didn't see the point in buying a new one. When he died, his neighbors assumed he had nothing. They found out, $8 million later, that they were very, very wrong. Nobody saw it coming. Not his family, not his friends. Because Ronald Read understood something that almost nobody else gets taught. A quiet little formula sitting out in plain daylight that most people walk past their entire lives without ever noticing. Stick around, because once this clicks, you'll start seeing it everywhere. In every rags to riches story. In every overnight success that took 30 quiet years. In every rich uncle who somehow never seemed to be working that hard. Here's the problem most of us are quietly drowning in. You earn money, you spend most of it. Whatever's left, you try to save. That's the entire strategy, isn't it? Work, earn, spend a little less than you make, repeat for 40 years, hope it adds up. It feels responsible. It's what your parents did. Probably what their parents did too. And yet it barely works anymore. People doing everything right are still anxious about money well into their 60s. So either everyone's failing at the same thing simultaneously, or the formula they were handed was missing something from the very start. It's the second one. Most people are convinced wealth comes down to one thing: income. Earn more and eventually you'll be rich. Feels obvious enough. A doctor earns more than a cashier, so naturally the doctor ends up wealthier, right? Except that's not actually how it plays out, and this is where things get strange. Plenty of doctors and lawyers are broke, not poor, but broke, buried under expensive cars and oversized mortgages, with nothing left at the end of the month. Meanwhile, somewhere out there, a school teacher or a mechanic is quietly sitting on 7 figures that absolutely nobody around them knows about. Same effort, wildly different outcome. So income clearly isn't the whole formula. There's something else operating underneath it, something nobody ever bothered pointing out. Here it is, and it's almost insulting how simple it actually is. Wealth equals assets minus liabilities multiplied by time. 3 ingredients: not income, not hustle, not how many hours you grind in a week. Assets, liabilities, time. Get this combination even slightly right, and wealth becomes almost inevitable. Get it wrong, and no amount of income will rescue you from it. Let's pull this apart, because this is where it actually gets interesting. An asset, stripped down to its simplest form, is something that puts money in your pocket without requiring your hours in exchange. A rental property, a slice of a business, a stock that quietly pays you just for owning it, even a song or a book that keeps earning long after the work is finished. A liability does the opposite. It pulls money out of your pocket month after month, whether you're in the mood or not. The car payment, the credit card balance, that slightly too big mortgage on a house that's really more lifestyle than investment. And here's the part that quietly wrecks people, the part nobody ever corrects them on. Most people think their house is an asset. Often it isn't, not in the way that actually matters. If it's not generating income, and you're the one writing the check every month, it's sliding straight into the liability column, no matter how good it looks pulling into the driveway. This is exactly where most people unknowingly sabotage themselves, and it happens so quietly they never even notice. Picture 2 people earning the exact same salary. One buys the newer car, the nicer apartment, the designer everything. Every extra dollar gets swallowed by liabilities. Things that look successful but drain money every single month, like a slow leak nobody's checking for. The other person, same income, quietly funnels the difference somewhere else. A small index fund. A modest rental down payment. Nothing exciting. Nothing worth posting about. 10 years pass. The first person looks more successful. Better car, sharper apartment, an Instagram that performs wealth convincingly. Strip away the surface though, and they're often one missed paycheck from real trouble. The second person looks frankly kind of boring. Same modest apartment, same older car sitting outside, but quietly money is flowing into their life every month without them lifting a finger for it. Same income, same 10 years, 2 completely different financial universes. This exact trap is what swallows lottery winners, and their story is honestly one of the strangest in all of this. Roughly 70% of them burn through their winnings within a few years and land right back where they started, sometimes worse. Not because they're careless people, because nobody ever showed them the formula. They got handed a flood of money with zero understanding of assets, liabilities, or time. So naturally, it all poured straight into liabilities. New houses, new cars, generosity that felt good in the moment, and within a handful of years, it was simply gone, as if it had never existed at all. Now hold that image up against Warren Buffett, a man who, by most accounts, still lives in the same modest house he bought back in 1958. Buffett was never chasing the appearance of wealth. He was chasing ownership, quietly, patiently, letting time do the heaviest lifting while everyone else was busy looking impressive. And that third ingredient, time, might be the one people respect the least, because it doesn't feel like a strategy. It's not a hot tip. It's not clever. It's just patience, compounding quietly in the background while life happens around it. Here's a number that tends to stop people mid-scroll. $100 a month invested starting in 1990, doing absolutely nothing fancy, just sitting and compounding. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars today. Not genius, not some secret system, just understanding that time multiplies whatever you feed it. Assets grow quietly in your favor, liabilities multiply too, just as quietly, working against you the entire time. This is the real, almost invisible difference between people who build wealth and people who never quite get there. It was never really about intelligence. It was never really about the family someone happened to be born into, even though that helps. It comes down to whether at some point someone understood this formula and whether they had the patience to let it run quietly in the background for years, while everyone around them was busy chasing the look of success instead of the substance of it. So where does that leave you? Start by simply watching where your money actually goes for 30 days. Not to judge yourself, just to see it clearly, maybe for the first time. Most people have never once looked honestly at how much flows toward assets versus how much quietly vanishes into liabilities. You can't fix what you've never actually looked at. Then shift the ratio even slightly. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It might be as small as $50 a month, redirected from something that drains you towards something that quietly builds for you instead. And then, the part almost nobody has the patience for, give it time, real time, not 6 months, years. The formula doesn't reward urgency. It rewards the willingness to stay boring in a world constantly screaming at you to want everything right now. Here's the thought worth carrying with you. Wealth was never a reward for exhaustion. Nobody hands out a trophy for being the most tired person in the room. It's simply what happens, almost mechanically, when assets are quietly allowed to outgrow liabilities for long enough that the gap becomes impossible to ignore. Most people spend their whole lives chasing income, certain that more money coming in is the answer. But income was never the formula. It was only ever one small piece of it. The real formula was sitting in plain sight this entire time in a janitor's quiet, unremarkable life, in a billionaire's same old house, just waiting for someone to actually stop and look.